All right, this looks a little ridiculous with these 25s on here, but it's way easier than adding 2 more 10s on each side and another 5. This is 150 for one. We're going to get the other one loaded up here too. Ugh, if I can get the thing off here. Good morning. Welcome back. It's a nice new day. It's not too terribly cold out, actually, surprisingly. Even though outside it is quite chilly and very windy. It is only about 40 degrees outside, though, so not terribly, unbearably cold, but that bitter wind, man, makes it pretty darn chilly. Thankfully, we're inside, the door's closed, so we're not really affected by the wind here. This gym is getting heated up really quickly, so we're going to be jumping right into this pull workout. We had a leg day 2 days ago, actually, which would have been right after the arm day you may have just watched, and that was unplanned for. I think even in the arm day video, I may have mentioned that it was supposed to be my off day, a planned off day, and I wasn't actually sure if it was going to be an off day, meaning I was pretty certain I was going to end up doing a workout with Austin, which did end up happening. So yesterday was Sunday. I did take that as my off day from lifting, and instead did my cardio yesterday. So had a good weekend with regards to recovery. Didn't get to record the workout with Austin. We did it at the commercial gym that he frequents, which was a really fun experience for me. First time at a commercial gym in 4 years. But now we're back here in the home gym. So we're going to get right after it with some pull workout. We're going to be doing some pull downs, some cable rows, heavy shrugs to finish it off. And we got a lot planned. So it's Monday morning, bright and early. Let's get after it. I'll see you there. Man, some mornings you really just don't know how quickly it's going to warm up in here. And today is exactly one of those mornings. It is already easily holding at 60 degrees, which isn't crazy warm, but there's two factors that work against me keeping the hoodie on and, not getting over warm. The first is that I've got, the heater, the electric heater is right over here, and it's blowing right on me some of the time. So that makes it incredibly warm and makes you start sweating very, very, very quickly. The other thing that's working against me is the fact that, the temperature varies so much outside, and it'll end up being generally warmer in here. So it's hard to gauge exactly how cold is it going to be when you come in here. When I first got in here, it was not really cold, honestly, but it was still cold enough that a hoodie for warm-up was absolutely necessary. Obviously, though, the room warmed up quickly, even if it is still about 40 degrees outside. Within the last week, it's been a good 10-degree swing, and that translates to a fairly substantial amount of swing in the gym, too. And with all these layers on, it quickly adds up. So, took the hoodie off. We're at our working weight here. We're going to be going for 210 on these Super ROM cable rows, overhand cable rows we're doing. Really all that means is we're going to be leaning back more and coming forward more than we perhaps normally would, where when we're doing a normal cable row, we're really trying to stay pretty statically still here and get that good pull in to our midsection. But we're going to be using an overhand grip, leaning back and getting after it. Let's do it. Good set. So I did that workout with Austin on Saturday. It was. We did leg day at the commercial gym, and what an interesting experience it was being back at a commercial gym. First time, as I said, in 4 years, and it was it was so much fun. It was fun to be in public again, lifting around people, helping people with spots. It was great to have the access to all those machines. However, the disappointing thing was this: I had in my mind, I was like, I want to make sure that since we're doing a leg day, that we plan to use this machine, that machine, those types of stuff. And I was really, really, really keen on using two in particular. One, Smith machine, and two, um, a seated hamstring curl. The seated hamstring curl was fine. We had to use, they had two different kinds there. They had the first one was like the branded one, which like the whole setup moves as you're crunching. It's curling. Sorry, it's super weird. Um, and then the second one is probably what you're familiar with, that more static. You know, you're just seated, curling the weight with your legs. I wanted the second one so bad, but a lot of these machines in the gym were out of order. Like a ton of them were, including the hack squat. I did obviously get to use the Smith machine, which was great, but their Smith machine was really narrow. I'm gonna guess it was only like 4.5 feet wide, which was just odd. I can't remember the last time or if I've ever even seen one that narrow, but it was just difficult to like kind of get your arms under. You know, we were doing some Smith machine squats, legs way out in front here, and it was hard to just get my hands underneath it to grab it and pull it down onto my shoulders. And because of that, my shoulders were slipping a lot. All right, let's get after another set here. Oh yeah. Oh man, that is it's something really when you find that perfect weight and that perfect rhythm. Um, these are progressing through these sets perfectly here, and I can tell this last one's going to be a bit of a struggle, in a good way. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was good. I was able to get that last one out there, but it was not, it was certainly not great form. I was really compensating, not using a pulling motion, but really using that momentum of the lean back, which is exactly what its intended purpose is to use that to help you get back in there. Problem is I couldn't even control it on the way down. So that's when I knew I was done. Not only could I not pull the weight back to me anymore, I couldn't even like let it go with grace and some control, rather just slamming it down. Okay, time for some hyper extensions. That was a tough one. I'm starting to think wearing these cream colored pants was not the best idea I've ever had. I am worried about getting them dirty, which is inevitable, but I keep worrying about bumping into stuff and staining them, which I don't think they're going to get stained in here. I think they're just going to get dirty. No big deal, though. All right, those are good. Oh boy. Back extensions, hyperextensions, they don't feel like they should be that exhausting of an exercise, but man, they do it. If you do it right, they do it. That's for sure. Okay, we got some lat pull downs. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever felt this or said this before. I've been looking forward to them. Looking forward to executing them. So let's go get set up for those. We're going to be using mostly the same weight, I think. Pretty darn close, if not the exact same weight as we were for our cable rows. So we're going to get set up for that, get underneath that bar, and get cranking on destroying these lats. That's today's objective. Okay, now we're doing these, we're switched it up this week. I've been keeping a fairly neutral width, shoulder width grip here, which has been great. But the thing that I love about this lat pull down bar here is that it's adjustable. You can move it in or out with regards to how close you want your grip to be for these articulating handles. It is handedly, pun intended, my favorite type of pull down bar. So we've got this long one, which allows us obviously to get wider, and then we've got a shorter one over there as well. I find myself using the shorter one almost exclusively on more rowing movements. I have used it on pull downs when you want to do more like a close grip pull down here. I have used it on that. It's been good for that. But I find that it's generally too narrow for day-to-day pull down use and much better suited for rowing. Now with that said, I use this long one on both rowing and pull downs. It's really good for both applications. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's just in my head and how I prefer to do it, but generally I generally don't want to go too narrow on my cable pull downs, my lat pull downs. I like to keep them fairly mid to wide with regards to their grip length. But that's just me. It might work differently for you. And there is certainly a way and a need and a place to program in those close grip pull downs to work your upper back especially. The hard part with those I find is that I end up using my biceps more when I'm doing those close grip pull downs. I'm not usually wanting to focus that much on my bicep, and when I do these, when I do those close grip ones, I find that my biceps are way more activated than just about any other muscle as I'm doing them. Yeah. Oh man. Going to be tough there, which is good. That's good. I mean, it's always good, right? It's kind of a silly comment to make. We got one more set. It's going to be a drop set, and we've got 150 pounds here loaded up onto the bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the plates around here and put the 25s, which are currently the second plate from the outside. I'm going to move them to the outside. It's a little swapping around here so that when I finish that set, I can quickly, or as quickly as possible, throw off those 25s and then proceed with what will be, I guess, 150 total for that drop set, and see how many more we can crank out. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Oh, those were ugly. Fuck, those were ugly. Okay, dropping 50 off here. Now we're gonna get after it again. Oh, that's it. All right. Whew. That was a good drop set there. Really, really, really feel it in my lats, which, wow. I mean, the stretch at the top was incredible when I couldn't when I couldn't pull that weight down anymore. Just kind of sitting there for a second. That really probably did me in more than just committing to it and pulling the weight. But, ooh, buddy, that was something. Okay, we're gonna get this cleaned up. We're gonna go do some hammer curls with a barbell and start working our biceps a little bit. All right, it's been a minute since I've done these, and or rather, it's been a minute since I've done them with the bar here, and I've been looking forward to doing them this whole workout. I like to use the fat grips when I do these with the hammer curl bar here. I feel it just gets that much more activation, especially in the forearm there, having to kind of grip onto it. And the key I find though is to not let that bar come up so it's resting on the top of your palm, but so your palm has a bit of a separation from it, so you're truly holding onto the bar and not letting the bar just push its weight up and down on top of your hand. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wasn't terribly happy with my form there. So on this set here, I added 20 total pounds. I'm going to take half of that off basically. So the 10s I added, I'm going to switch them out to 5s, which would bring this approximately to 95 total pounds, I think. I've been asked a couple times now the weight of some of my bars that I'm using, like the barbell, and I find that oftentimes people get caught up in the weight of some of these specialty bars. I don't think it really matters. I assume that this bar and all my other curl bars weigh 15 pounds. I'm not certain that they do. In fact, they probably don't. But I keep that consistent so that when I'm kind of doing my math in my book here, writing down the weight, I've just got a consistent number. If I just assume it's 15 every time, I'll be able to consistently apply that weight. Now, that means that I might go to someone else's gym or a commercial gym and try to do that same weight with a similar bar, and I'm not able to, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. These are accessory lifts anyway. I'm not registering or signing up for a competition where I'm going to be seeing who can do the most hammer curls with a 1-inch standard barbell here. That's silly. All right, last set here. We're going to absolutely dominate this. Drop the weight down like I told you. Really going to be focused on bringing that weight up and not using my body to do it for me. Okay. Much, much, much better. Very happy with those. It felt good, man, that pump right there at the end. Or rather, the pull and the hold and the flex of that muscle. Whew, and they're feeling good too right now. Okay, we're gonna put these away. And I think we've got some heavy dumbbell swings coming up next, if I'm not mistaken. All right, I don't know where exactly I saw these the first time I heard about these, but when I first did them, I absolutely loved them. They sounded like they would be almost nothing. Like they really wouldn't even be much of a workout at all. But the key to these is going nice and heavy, using a pad to lean onto, and the goal is to almost do whatever you got to do to get the weight out, but then control it on the way back down. And then the rules that I've heard every time repeated, and I firmly believe this too, if you're bringing that weight back down and those dumbbells touch, the rep doesn't even count. It's literally all about that control and having that slow negative. So we're going to be doing 2 sets of these. 2 sets of 25. I think that'll be enough, honestly. We'll see. And this has normally been one of those exercises where the first half you do it, you're like, this isn't going to be enough reps. But then you get to that 25, you get up or into that second half, and it really hits you really darn quickly how much this is going to be a workout. So we got 50s loaded up here on the dumbbells. Let's crank after it. Those were, wow. I don't know if you could tell. I don't know that I could get a great angle right here. But on some of those later reps, I was barely even able to kick that weight out much at all. Those are really tough. 25 is the right amount. 50 pounds is the right amount. We got 1 minute to rest here. And then we're going to do another set to just destroy these rear delts. Okay. Oh, okay. That's it. I couldn't even move the weight there at the end. Those are great. I would highly advise you to give those a try. I feel like if you just look at those, you're like, that's not going to be doing anything. And I definitely thought that the first time I saw the video of someone doing that. And even really the first half of the set that I did it. But if the weight's heavy enough, you're not going to be able to lift it terribly high. That's the point. That's the point. The point is not to lift it high. It's to lift it to a point that you then have to control it on the way back down. And the problem is at the end there, I just didn't feel like I could even get it to a point where I was going to feel that. So I called it right there at 20. Okay, we've got one more thing to do. We're going to do some heavy ass shrugs. with the dumbbells. We're loading them up to 150 this week each. So no more putzing around on those. We're breaking out the big plates for this one. It's one of the things I've really enjoyed about having, or I suppose it's really enjoyed about gathering the equipment in the way that I did. I actually had these 1-inch plates first, and I think I've told this story before. When I bought them, I actually didn't realize they weren't Olympic-sized plates, meaning plates you would put on a normal barbell that we'd find in the gym. These 1-inch plates they're called standard plates. They are different than Olympic in that they are 1-inch holes instead of 2-inch holes. And so when I bought them, I really couldn't see visually that they were not a 2-inch hole. I have a really bad, eye for being able to tell the size of things or like approximating the weight of objects. So when I bought these, I was like, there's something in the back of my head going like, that's not right. That's not the right thing. But then I was like, no, that's definitely it. I got this weight finally. I can do it. And I had a barbell and everything. And then I'm like, wait a second. I got home and I was like, that's not right. And I remember being disappointed in that moment. But, again, life has a weird, funny way of teaching us things. And in that moment, what it taught me was that sometimes we just need to be a little bit patient, and we're going to have what we need. But also that, at the end of the day, nothing we do is going to be a life-threatening mistake most of the time. And it's really easy for me to sometimes kind of panic, where I do this momentary, essentially like, oh my gosh, wherever I just did is going to sink the ship. This is, everything's over. Nothing's going to work. I screwed it up. I broke it. And that had led me for a lot of my life when I was a bit younger here to really be afraid to try new things and to do things and to use the things that I would even buy. I was afraid of them breaking and not being able to afford to replace it, like my motorcycle or my gym stuff or whatever, And at some point, we've got to realize that if we're privileged enough to be able to buy something, we should be privileged enough to just use it and not be afraid to experience what it can bring for us, even if that experience is it breaking. The Buddhists love to say that the whole point of life, or that's probably not the best definition of it, but the point of life is to suffer. Suffering lets us know that we're living. And that suffering, that sadness, that anger, whatever that emotion is that you want to link to suffering, that's how we're able to tell when we're alive. When we can really see both sides of the scale. Because when we're happy, everything's so much easier. But when we're sad, when we're angry, when we're just in despair, that's when things can really be tested. But that's how you know that you've not only are you alive, but you have something worth living for. And I love that about the Buddhist mentality. All right, this looks a little ridiculous with these 25s on here, but it's way easier than adding 2 more 10s on each side and another 5. So we're gonna do it. This is 150 for one. We're gonna get the other one loaded up here too. If I can get the thing off here. All right, let's do this. Shrugging some 150s. Come on. Up and forward, nice and slow. Whew. Okay, that's nice. All right, here we go. Number 2, 1 minute rest. Right back at it, up and forward. Really got to focus on the forward this time. Come on. These are tough, man. They're good. They're real good. But my goodness, are they tough. I think I finally have found the right weight. I was underselling myself for probably a while there. This weight though, I feel like I can control it and still really have to work. I mean, even just lifting my shoulders right now, I can feel that tiredness. There's the bell for one more. Let's destroy this. Yeah, that's good. That was good there. I tried throwing in there one more set, but woof, these things are fried. All right, what a damn good workout. Thanks for being here on this Monday morning. I appreciate you. We are going to be finishing up with some crunches. Maybe some hanging leg raises, actually. We're going to do hanging leg raises and clean this up at the same time. So probably not going to film that in the sake of time. Appreciate you being here. Drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you're thinking. If there's an exercise you'd like to see me try to do, put it on in here. If I could do it in the home gym, I'll give it a go. I'll try to throw it into my workout here in the next week or so. So leave me a comment. Let me know what's some kind of exercise you'd like to see me do, and I'll see if I can find a way to program that into my my weekly routine here. Appreciate you. Stay strong. I'll see you soon.